Okay.
I don't know if I'm ready. You know what the game is, right?
Oh yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
know what game we're talking
Oh
about,
yeah.
right?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dual Screens podcast. I am one of your hosts, Stephen Fontana, and with me, as always, he's in that other box. He's Andy Asimakis. How are you, Andy?
I feel a lawsuit brewing, Stephen.
Oh, do you now?
I have false advertising.
Oh, okay.
I think today's game lacks a certain feature I thought it was going to include.
Oh,
a pair of features, actually.
Excuse me,
but
I have it on not even the slightest good authority that there's probably a cheat code for that. So
listen,
there was a cheat code for Lara. There was Lara Croft. There's a cheat code.
We'll leave it to the mods.
Yep. The mods will handle it. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us this week is Will Brierly, the creator of Retired Men's Nude Beach Volleyball League, which is exactly what it sounds like. Will, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, this is going to be great. I am very excited for this. So
can I just wait before we get into this?
Yeah.
I just want to tell everyone the genesis of this interview.
I was going to get to that. I was going to introduce that after I tell people what the hell they're listening to. Folks, this is the Dual Screens podcast, the internet's #1 indie developer interview podcast that you've never heard of, probably. The show posts each and every week for your listening pleasure on your podcast service of choice, including our home, Podbean. And of course, you could watch the video version over on youtube.com/dualscreens.tv. And if you want to support us on Patreon, it is so damn simple. A baby can do it. Just like our 3 beautiful baby Patreon producers, Colton the Apprentice Nestler, FNH Paul, and Vegas Girl on Fire. And if you do join at any tier, like even 1 tier, not only we will wipe away your tears, but you will get to be in our super secret VIP Discord channel. That's right. You get to hang out with us all day and talk video games. And it's awesome. And we have a great time. Anyway, that's the rigmarole. Thank you for that. That's patreon.com/NDS podcast. Now, Andy, how the hell did you get this show together?
So I had just come back from Colorado after Thanksgiving, and I ate a lot of IHOP.
Yes.
In Colorado. I think I will forever associate that state with IHOP.
Okay.
And whilst I was waiting for my 2x2x2, which is 2 pancakes, 2 eggs, 2 meat thing,
right?
Sausage or bacon,
right.
Your choice.
Did you do 1 of each, or did you do 2 of 1? What did you do?
No, I just did the sausage.
Of course you did.
Yeah, I don't trust anything but diner bacon. That's like the best bacon.
Well, because it's cooking for like the entire day.
Right.
It's just sitting there on that griddle.
So
just
while I was waiting,
whittling away.
While I was waiting for my food, I'm scrolling through Twitter. I come across this game. I'm like, Nude Men's Volleyball. Oh, I gotta like interject. I gotta throw my voice into the ring here. And then Will and I spoke over DM, and then here we are. This is it.
Well, you're leaving a little bit out there. You posted this game, the trailer for this game, in our super secret VIP Discord, which is what we do. We have an indie game watch, which is where we tell people, about the indie games that they should be looking out for. And I'm not even joking. I think it might have been 3.5 minutes after you put the actual trailer, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, what is this?" You were like, "Oh yeah, he's going to be a guest on the show," and that was it. It was like it happened that quickly. And
should we hear Will's version of the story?
Just
get a third take on this?
Please, Will, tell us your version of this chaos.
So I remember when we met because we were going to the meetup of I think I remember it this way. We were going to the meetup of where volleyball was invented in Holyoke, Massachusetts, and we were standing on the court, and I showed a film of the trailer, and he said, would you like to be on the podcast? And I said, that's why I showed you the trailer. I'd love to be here. So,
yeah.
So
I think
that's how it went down. Yeah.
I can only assume that you belong to some sort of gym or club, possibly racquetball, where there are just copious amounts of old men walking around with their balls flapping in the wind. Is this accurate?
I live very close to what's that famous David Foster Wallace book? Infinite Jest, and there's a gym in that takes place. That takes place in the book that's based on a real place down the street from me. So that is a famous gym that is known for elderly, people hanging out there.
Right. I got to ask you, Will.
But I'm not a member, so.
Did you understand Infinite Jest after you finished reading it?
I actually haven't read it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay.
But I did read a book that he wrote. It's a much shorter one, and it's about the history of hip hop music in Cambridge, Massachusetts in the 90s. It was really interesting. I like never knew that he was into that, and it was cool, really neat. So.
All right, so you heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. Retired rappers, Nude Skee Ball coming at you 2023. It's coming.
Yeah.
Oh Get ready. Get ready. Andy, we've already gone. We're already old man balls deep into this thing. Right. So the leadoff question is gone here. So let's just keep it going.
There is something I do want to ask here.
Pivot.
And I've already asked Will this question over email, so I'm going to ask it again.
Oh, okay. So now everyone gets to hear. Well, I could be a part of the conversation now. That's
right.
Great.
Of course you can.
I love it.
Judging by the game's title, it's what you're going to get going in. There's no way around it. It's Nude Old Men Volleyball.
Right.
This can't have any depth to it whatsoever. It's just one of those games, you know. Like I made it in dreams. That's like, okay, I get it. So I'm playing like an hour of this game, Steven.
Yes.
Right? And it's one of those games where I gotta stop it and then think to myself, this is like a whiskey game. Where, like I have to have a glass of whiskey and take it in slowly.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I had this thought, I emailed Will and I said, what is this game? So Will, what is this game?
Yeah, a whiskey game. I like that as like a genre of like a game, like because there are games that like really are good for having like a drink and just it's like kind of like watching a movie, but it's
an experience.
Yeah, like you don't like because like you don't want to have like whiskey if you're playing like Super Meat Boy. Like you gotta concentrate. You gotta like that's like. The controls are but here it's like the controls kind of make a difference, but it's more about like, the story and narrative and stuff. So like, you don't have to be great at it. Even if you lose the match, it's not going to make like a huge difference. It'll make a difference in what happens in the game. But yeah, that's a good way to describe it. It's like,
I don't think you understand what kind that like just how important this game is, because Andy is 1,000% anti sports ball. He could not care whatsoever about a sport.
It took naked men, old naked men.
But there's one other IP that gets you to play a sports ball, and that would be Super Mario. So right now, Will, what you have to understand is that you are in the company of Super Mario Brothers in Andy's echelon of sports games. You understand? So this is something that you definitely want to put on your Steam review. As a matter of fact, you could do that now.
Yeah. I love that.
So that we could just refresh the page and see dual screens there on the page. No. So where the hell did this come from? Please, for the love of God, like, how did you? When did you say, oh, okay, yeah, that's the idea I'm gonna go with?
I think it was like I was actually gonna look this up right before this because I was curious of it because I'm pretty sure the initial kind of idea of it came from like I'll send myself emails like if I think of something in the middle of the night I'll be like, oh, this would be like neat idea or something. Let me actually see if I can find it while I'm talking, but it's like in some of the ideas are, don't make any sense. And then other ones are kind of cool. And, but yeah, this one was just like, I think I just wrote down the title. I kind of like that. And then I was thinking about Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball. Thought that game was pretty funny. And like, I was like, what if you made one like that, but like older you know, people, and it's all about like, you know, their like lives and like
barely alive beach volleyball.
Yeah, like family and fun, like like different things, and it's kind of I don't know, like that's and I just started writing it down, and then I pitched it to Humble because they published that as a Humble original. And I had a bunch of games, and we were just like sitting in a diner, and I kind of like was just rattling off game ideas, and that was the one they picked. And so and I was really surprised. I was like, and I was psyched that they did. And then it took a while. Like I was working on it, went through like a zillion different iterations, and it eventually, let's see, came to be what it was. But I got in touch with Aaron Blair and Rachel Olsen, and they really like helped kind of extra make it what it was, because like I had an idea of like where the story and what I wanted it to be, but like they really added elements to it that is really neat too. So
Andy, I'm astounded that this game was greenlit based on just the title. Mm-hmm. That is,
I think that's all it would take.
That might be a first for like, I don't think I've ever heard that ever.
Yeah.
That is Seinfeldian like level of a pitch. Like that is great.
And the person who introduced me to John from Humble was actually a fellow who made he's made a ton of games with awesome names. So he made the game
yes.
He made that. He made Elegy for a Dead World, Drunken Robot Pornography.
Oh, I love Elegy for a Dead World. Oh yeah, my god,
so good,
such a good game.
So and it's crazy. He like introduced me to, so that's a Chiro. He introduced me to John, and that's how it all came together. So thank you, Chiro. Thank you, John. I mean, it's like, that was one of those ones that it was so exciting when they, were up for it. I was just like, I was so scared the whole time that like, they'd be like, we changed our mind. Like, this is, like
the drugs wore off. We don't want to do this anymore.
Like, and they make, Humble, it was such like an honor to be, included in like the Humble Choice stuff, because that's like, those are some of my favorite games they have in there. So I was just like, I want to do a good job on this, and do the best we can. And it's but hopefully people like the game, and it's like but man, I'm like, honored that they were like cool with doing it, and they were totally awesome. So it's a really cool company.
It's nice seeing you up there with other whiskey games like Unpacking, which is another
I love
game.
Unpacking.
And it's like,
oh my god,
very deep meditative game. And then we have it's just right there alongside some nude old man volleyball game.
Totally.
The world is an amazing place to be in right now.
I think of Chicken Police when I think of a whiskey game. Just sitting there with that one was ridiculous as well.
It's funny, when I first played this game, I was in the first match with Mark, the first old man you go up against. It's like 25 points to win the game, Steven. That's like and it goes by at such a slow pace, and I'm like, oh, I get it. You play until you're an old man in real life, literally. That's what's gonna happen. And I was like, oh my god, it's like 2 hours deep, and it's like the score is like 5-6.
Yeah.
But then it clicks. Like there's banter between them. They talk about themselves. There's like dialogue choices, and I'm like, fuck, this isn't what I thought it was. This isn't like a silly game that's just like Deer Simulator or some shit, or like the Goat Simulator. It's not that at all.
But that was like, I wanted to like be people come into it like being like, oh yeah, we can see some naked dudes, which is, that's it's cool and stuff. And then like but then after I want them to like want to like call their grandparents and tell them they love them, you know. Like, it's like my secret goal.
Oh, that's what I felt too. But all my grandparents are dead.
Yes,
so.
yes. Yes, sadly. But our parents are slowly becoming grandparents. That's what's happening here.
There's that.
Yeah.
There's that.
Yeah.
I'm lower my light a little bit. Yeah, it's just like, how did so you were talking about you had help here putting the pieces together. When was the first time, and what was the moment where the pieces came together and you said, "Oh, that's the game"?
Yeah, you know, it was like sometime. I mean, time is such a blur right now. Like I think everything's off by now like 2 years. So and it's like weird. In this past couple of years, I've put out, you know, kind of like there's this game, Find the Letter H, Rot Gut, and Chekhov OS. So 4 very different games, and you know, kind of in that amount of time. And it's a weird blur. I don't really know. But you know, the toughest part, and it's something that like it like making sports games is super duper hard. Like I
Really
like I mean, fortunately, you know, in the story itself of this game, that it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, and so you'll see sometimes the ref is wrong, and you know it does.
Oh yeah.
You know, weird stuff. But it's like, you know, without spoiling it, there's a reason for that. But like, it's you know, I have so much respect for people who making like those like super realistic sports. I actually on the launch party for the Humble one, we had my friend Trevor. He made a lot of those like earlier NBA 2K games and stuff, and it's like I've talked to him about like, you know, how they did the AI, and that's just like nuts. It's like so much going on, and it's but it was a really fun challenge because there's a zillion ways to do it, even with like the physics in volleyball and keeping score and all this like AI and all that. It was all, you know, it's a weird challenge, but you know, yeah.
What does a launch party for this game look like?
Yeah, you know, it was all over Zoom, you know.
Does it like, do you invite like the local like retirement home to like come hang out
Yeah.
and literally hang out while you're
exactly, you know, bop around some balls.
That's fantastic.
But you know, we're having one on this Friday for the Steam launch. So
I love it.
You know, you and everyone listening is welcome to join. So
Oh my
it's
God.
free, and
all right.
it's
Oh
gonna
my
be
God.
silly. Last time
So
was
cool.
nuts. Like we had, it was so fun. You know, that was crazy that day. A tree fell next to where we live and knocked out all the power, and I had to like walk to my office and do it from there in the last minute, and it was fun. But
we have very different ideas of fun, I think.
What? Yeah.
That would be terrified.
I kind of want to get into the mindset of a game developer like yourself, because most people, I would imagine, when they make games, yes, there's like a vision, a passion, but there's also this thing has to be marketable, has to make some money.
Yeah.
You're a guy that made a game about drinking soda pop before this, and now is doing a nude volleyball old man game.
Yeah.
How do you how does that happen? Like, where does that come from? Like, these are the games I want to make.
That's it. You know, it's like it's really like you want something in the world, and if you get the, you know, tools to make it, it's like super funny to do it. And then, you know, I figure there, like the cool thing is it's a small team on all these games, so it's like we don't need to sell a zillion of them to make a good profit. So it's kind of like, you know, pretty good business side, and it's like it's so fun because like you can make whatever you want, you know. Like, I mean, it's crazy with soda drinker, like people all over the world have that. It's just like an honor that, you know, people play it and have fun, and it's yeah, it's a cool.
Is it a point, like, do you make it a point that you are like to think outside the box, to do something a little bit zany, because you know that the zanier it is, the more silly or niche or whatever it is, the more of a chance it's going to just be just gobbled up by people just because out of sheer curiosity. Is that like your strategy now going through when you're picking what you're going to make next?
I think I just like do like what I like if I think it's funny, like that, I'll go with that. Of course there's some sort of like, like, thought on the marketing side of it, but it's mostly like, for example, I made a game that was mostly just for myself called Find the Letter H, which is just like this quiet game where you walk around a pond and find the letter H. And it's like a very meditative sort of game. And that one I just mostly made for myself. And then when the pandemic hit, I'm like, oh, let's put this out here. Cause it's like, I made it to kind of like help calm myself down and make myself feel nice and stuff. So I was like, I'll put it out there and, charge $1 for it. And if people want it, they can have it. It's like, and there's a free version if they want to, but it's like, that one, it wasn't, at all commercial success or anything, but it's a nice game. And, and it's like, no matter what, I got a game that I want, it's like, so I think, and I do like making games that are just interesting to me, like different mechanics or stories or, things that I think, and it's really fun working with people that like, with Soda Drinker with my brother, and I worked on that, and we've done a ton of projects together. And, with Volleyball, Aaron and Rachel, and, it's just nice seeing what everyone comes up with together and make something neat. So
yeah, this I think I've used this analogy before. This feels like that PS1 era of games, very like experimental. It's like, oh, we got brand new shiny tech, 3D graphics, let's do a bunch of weird shit, and people are gonna eat it up because it's it's whatever. So I like how it harkens back to those days where games weren't about like trying to sell you something. This is someone being creative, flat out, and that's all it really is.
Yeah, so fun. It's like it's amazing, like the tools that exist now to make games. It's just like you can make. It's amazing the stuff I see, people putting out all the time. There's some awesome stuff every single day. It's crazy. So
way too much.
Yeah,
I lose track of it sometimes.
Right.
And good quality shit.
Yeah, like really good stuff.
Which bothers me that you can't keep up with all of it.
It's impossible. It's impossible. Like we there could be 30 of us, Andy, and we wouldn't be able to cover everything that's worth it out there. What do you hope, Will? What do you hope people get out of playing this game? Like, what is it that you want people, aside from like the cliche, oh, we just want people to have fun? Like, is there something you want people to come away thinking after playing this experience?
I mean, I think like thinking about, and this is the thing I've been thinking about just a lot in the past, as I get older, and also think the past couple of years is everyone's kind of really had a chance to think about what they value in their lives, and how they want to spend time, and what they're what we're all doing here.
Right.
And there's a lot of that in this game of like kind of missed opportunities, or also taking new chances later in life. And it's, I think those are kind of like the overlying themes and the stuff. And there's a lot of it too is just like there, it sounds silly, but there's tons of like super personal stuff in the game that like both Aaron and I wrote that like is just like true stories. So it's like some of them are Aaron's stories and some are mine, and some we make up, of course, but like the game takes place in Massachusetts and they're all based on real places, and that's where I live. And it's like there's a lot of just, and it sounds silly, but even Soda Drinkers like that, it's like filled with just like inside jokes to myself. So it's like, and the worlds of Volleyball and Soda Drink are actually connected too. So
okay. Crossover.
Wow, it's the fucking cinematic universe over here.
When could we see Shovel Knight in one of these games? That's bound to happen, right?
Exactly.
They'll break the illusion too much for me. It's like, I think one of my takeaways in what I've played so far is like you never really peak in life.
Yeah.
There's always that third act, and like
Yeah.
there's always something to look forward to, even in your golden years. And at least when I'm an old man,
Yep.
I can look forward to flaunting my balls in public
Exactly.
in spectacular
Totally.
fashion.
It reminds me of a story that I was recently thinking about. Actually, there are no old man balls, but just bear with me here. But when I was a kid, we used to go to a block party at my aunt's house, my great aunt's house. It was my dad's aunt's house. She passed away in like 93, I think. So this would have been at the late 80s, early 90s, probably 89, 90, right? And I remember my dad and a bunch of other men playing punch ball, playing baseball with where you punch it with your fist and you run around. And I remember seeing my dad run around, and I'm like, oh, look at these old men. Like, they're so old. Like, what are they doing? And one guy got really drunk and fell and split his head open, and there was an ambulance called because he was bleeding everywhere. But whatever. Like that's why that moment stuck in my head forever. But I was thinking about it, I was like, these guys are so old. And then I realized I will be my dad's age in 2 years from that memory. And I'm like, man, it's so fleeting. It is so fleeting.
God.
Yeah. But I distinctly remember thinking, like, these old men are playing like children. And I'm like, of course they are now, because I'm a big baby child. I'm a 35-year-old baby child. Halo just came out and I'm doing podcasts instead.
Exactly.
How do you think that makes me feel? Not great. Got to be honest. Not great.
The sixth Halo game just came out.
Yeah, right? It's like, I mean, as the generations go on, we get younger, older. You know, like we're just stay younger for much longer in our lives, and like these old men playing volleyball kind of triggers that little piece in your brain where you're like, I don't have to be old and do nothing. I could do stuff.
It's like, I mean, some of people I hang out with like every day are in their 70s, and they're in like better shape than
Oh no, I'll never be in shape.
Ton of other people.
Let's not talk. That's not. Shape isn't the thing. It's a mindset.
There is a shape.
Right. I am a shape. Yes. Yeah. I am a clump of shapes, actually. We have a for lack of a better term, we have an ageist thought growing up of the elderly, of like hitting the stick against the ceiling, quiet down, get off my lawn. But like, if you actually sit there, like in my neighborhood, you could go to the park and watch these old men play bocce ball together.
Yeah.
And they are like 15-year-old kids fighting over Pokemon cards. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world, and I love it so much. But you just don't realize that through play, which is a very human and a very necessary human developmental tool, is play. That's how we learn how to communicate with each other, is through play. And knowing that human beings still need that, still crave it, will do it, and will do it with such veracity and vitality. And I think people are going to walk away from this ridiculous volleyball story here kind of feeling that. I would hope, like, I would hope that you realize, oh, these are like these are like real people. Like, if you just listen to a bunch, like, go to the barbershop, and listen to old men or whatever, just talking to each other, or it's the banter is the best part, I think.
Totally. It's like we're all humans, like, and it doesn't change that much from generations to like the stuff that it's like different like things a little bit, but like we're all just trying to have fun and be silly and weird. It's like
and naked. We're all trying, like, there's not one person who would rather be clothed than naked. Like, not a single person.
How do you write for old characters? Is it like, this is what I would sound like when I'm an old crotchety man, or do you look to like your older figures in your life, like your parents, grandparents?
Yeah, kind of like a lot of the older people that like kind of the age range that takes place in this game, and like they're like 70s and 80s, like and I think it's different. This generation is like, because it takes place like basically around now in the game, and so they don't sound like old people. Maybe like when we were kids, because like when we were kids, a lot of old people like kind of were like the grandma and dinosaurs or whatever, or like
Right.
Estelle
Right,
Getty or something. Like,
Right,
it's
right,
like they
right.
looked like old, and like, but now older people kind of, even like when they're super old, they're just like, hey, like, so I kind of wanted to write like that, like, because a lot of people would be like, oh, is it gonna be like Depends jokes and stuff? I'm like, no, it's just like, like, this is just, I mean, there's different challenges in life and stuff, but like a lot of these were like, I kind of wanted to be like, just more the we're all just, our bodies get older and stuff, but
Right.
we
Right.
all like the same stuff usually. So
It's kind of amazing how even in your old age you still face issues of like a teen, like you still have
Totally.
insecurities,
Yeah.
vulnerability,
Yeah.
that shyness. It's like that's all there.
Oh yeah. And there's like
in the main character of Len. It's like,
yeah,
I feel like part of him lives in all of us in a sense.
yeah. And it's like, there's some references to like, his knees not working like they used to, or
Mhm.
like there's a kind of sad part in there where he's talking about like his friends keep on dying and stuff, and it's
Yeah.
like lonely and stuff. So it's like, there's that, but it's like, it's and those, a lot of those stories just come from like just talking to people that
Yeah.
are in that age, and just because I wanted to make it like just feel like, I don't want to be like, I know what old people are like, because I'm not, I mean, I'm 41, so it was
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
it's like,
All right, Andy.
Oh, is it time?
It's time. Let's now we're gonna really get to know you, because this was just not revealing enough.
This is just a
Nice.
preamble.
Yes. Let's really shed some clothing here, some cloth, and get to
All
know
right.
the beneath the surface. All right. This is going to be rapid fire. It's where we ask you a bunch of questions and you just tell us the answer right off the top
Got
of your old bean up here. Okay?
Okay.
The little protein between your ears better be working, because it's time
Yes.
to go. So, first question. You got a cheeseburger. Ketchup or mustard?
Both, with pickles and
Interesting. Both. Okay.
directly in my face.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask a topical question, given subject of old men.
You know, my favorite topical question is, what's your favorite sunscreen?
There's a Ben
Sorry.
Gay question coming in at some point during this conversation.
There'll be one.
At what point did you say to yourself, God, I feel old? Because I've had that moment several times in the last couple of years, and we're about the same age.
Hmm?
I'm turning 40 next year, Will.
Yeah.
So
Fuck.
Give me a moment where you're like, I'm just an old fart.
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel
I'm getting
that.
old.
Yeah. Like, I feel like I'm getting older, but like, I don't feel old. I think, having like seeing pictures of myself that my dad's age, that is, it's like a reminder that like, all right, I'm at this checkpoint, It's like,
Yes.
I'm at this checkpoint, and my dad looks like he's seen some shit by now.
Yeah.
exactly.
I look okay. We'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I kind of date myself based on like what social media platform was popular at the time, of like, oh, this was like in the MySpace days or the Friendster days, or
God, Friendster.
Good Lord.
It's funny. I always like use like gaming anniversaries, like, oh, remember this game when you were like 15? Now it's 30 years old. I'm like,
yeah,
oh
my
fuck.
God.
Shut up.
Well,
Go away.
Nuts.
We gotta stop that shit. All right.
Kids react to PS3 games. It's like, oh, good God.
Shut up. Would you rather have the power of flight or invisibility?
I would do invisibility. It's like it's just fun, like I like wearing
It
like
is just fun.
costumes, and like being like, I mean, that's the fun thing with making games, is like I can watch someone play my game, and it's such a fun experience to like see someone like streaming it and stuff and be like, that's crazy.
You're on an FBI list. Okay, continue.
I'm just focused group testing. I'm gonna go to someone's house and watch them play my game.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool, right?
I think so. If you're not seen, does it really happen? I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's okay to put in a thing that like turns on your webcam when you play the video game. I mean, everyone does that.
Everyone does do that. Everyone does do that.
What is the dumbest way you've ever injured yourself?
When I was in 6th grade, I downloaded a copy of the Anarchist Cookbook off of a BBS, and I made a little bomb inside of a Tic Tac container that was made out of like match heads and stuff, and it blew up in a piece of melted plastic linen on my hand and like went wicked deep into it, and then I like ripped it off and then just gave me this huge like it was terrible. Don't do any of that.
Wow. So you're really on an FBI list.
He is on the FBI list.
You really are on an FBI list. Okay. All right. Well, this is how we get to know people, you know?
Yeah. That was like early, you know, that's not a BBS back in the day. It was like, I used to download like, I mean, everyone had that. And then you'd have like, you download like Mortal Kombat 2 and Street Fighter 2 strategy guides where they're like 40 pages of text. And you learn all the combos. It was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, Game Facts. Remember that?
Oh,
baby.
God, yeah.
Oh, baby. It would take several minutes to get one of those things to show up on the screen. With the dot matrix looking thing.
Mom, don't pick up the phone.
I had one in my head now. Oh, okay. We're gonna play a little game here. Okay. I forget, what is it called when you it's the call and response where you say a word and then you say the first word that comes to your brain.
Yeah.
What is it called? That's like a
word association.
Word association. Thank you. I couldn't think of it. So we're just gonna go with that. Okay.
Balls.
All right. No. Cards.
Magic.
Sticky.
Icky.
Baloney.
Sandwich.
Light.
Wait.
Fire.
Ice.
Remembering.
Sounds.
All right. Do you remember your answers?
Some of them.
That's the name of your next game. Let's get it. Write it down. Write it down.
Write down the answers.
Write down the answers, and that's your next game.
What were the questions?
I don't remember. We're gonna have to get that one back. I'll tell you what. When we edit this thing, I'll send you that email because I know you like them in emails.
Yeah.
And we'll see if Humble will buy that one.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I believe there might have been a Magic Icky in there. So Magic Icky.
Magic Icky, lightweight.
Yeah.
Remembering sounds.
Yeah. I think we're good here.
Magic
Andy?
Icky would be cool.
Magic Icky. It's like a little kid that spreads cooties in school.
You just gave him like 6 game titles. Is what you did.
I did.
I have some cards here actually.
Oh man, is he about to do some magic right here?
Yeah. Well, there's a thing like with the game. Like if you look at this, right? Like there's a...
Oh my God. Yeah. He just pulled an entire deck of cards out of his mouth.
That just
for your audio listeners. That's what just happened.
YouTube.com/dual
screens TV to see something that you can't unsee. You can't unsee it.
Barf out a deck of cards.
They were blue deck of cards.
I'm kind of shocked.
It was abrupt. It happened very quickly.
Yeah.
I'm both impressed and horrified.
I don't.
Oh, he knows how to shuffle. Look at this.
Yeah.
Podcast.
Some sleight
Wow.
of hand shit.
Whoa, hello. That disappeared. What the shit is happening? All right. YouTube is definitely where you want to watch this show and listen to this show.
He's doing all sorts of shit right now.
We are learning things here, folks.
Can we just do this the next 10 minutes of the show?
No, it would make for a terrible podcast, Andy. I'm just gonna go right. It's just gonna be us going,
Audio Magic podcast. So I'm gonna try. Steve, think of any card in the deck, like or a number 2, 1, and 10.
Okay.
Which one is it?
Why would I tell you?
I'm just curious.
6.
6. Is it like a red 6 or black 6 or?
It's a red 6.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Without looking.
You guys,
Fuck off.
it's a red 6.
And it was a
Oh
heart.
my god.
And which is the one I was thinking. All right. Andy, before I call the FBI directly,
I sort of feel like I know the answer to this next question.
Oh shit!
And
Here we go.
I'm afraid of he might confirm it once and for all.
Yep.
Will, when you're putting on your shoes and your socks during the day, is it sock, shoe, or sock, shoe, sock, shoe?
I think sock.
God, thank God. So you're not a complete sociopath. All right. That's fine.
I was like, I think we have him. I think we found the one.
I think we found him. Yeah. Yeah. How old do you think you will be when your nuts touch the toilet water for the first time?
Yesterday.
Hoping 120.
Wow. Okay. All right. Yeah.
I want to get that old at least.
That would be great, man. That would be so good.
Yeah. It'd be fun. It's like, hopefully, the world's in a good shape and we'll be like kind of downloaded into weird hologram dogs and
Yeah. We won't be on fire. Yeah, whatever.
Exactly. We'll just be like riding weird surfboards in space, playing, Pac-Man and emulators.
Jesus, what hellscape?
It's what I do now.
Yeah, it's not very different, but also somewhat haunting. Andy, let's get you one more question, and then I'll ask our final question.
I think we have to ask our always question: pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
I like it. You know what? I love pineapple and cherry peppers and pepperoni on there.
Interesting. Okay, get a little spice in there.
That could work, maybe.
Yeah. Well, since that was a quick one, I'm not going to make this the last one. Is cereal a soup?
That's a very good. I think it's just cereal.
Yeah. It's got its own little category.
Or it could be breakfast soup, but I like soup for breakfast. So, and
there you go. And there you go back. There you go back on the psycho list. You like soup for breakfast.
I think my breakfast soup came up a little bit in my throat here.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
morning clam chowder. And I like having like a bowl of curry, or I don't know. I like regular breakfast too, but like, I like just like today I had a bunch of chicken wings for breakfast.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
I don't think you're living to 120, Will. If you're eating a bunch of chicken wings for breakfast.
I had that. Like, I was from KFC, right? Come on.
So much protein.
Andy, it's your go.
Oh my! Is it the last question?
No. We have a couple minutes.
This should be a fun one. Okay, Will. So, for some reason, some major publisher like a Nintendo or Sony or Microsoft is tripping balls that day. And they were like, Will, you can take any one of our IPs and make a game for us. We don't care what's happening in this game. We just want Will to make the next blank game for us. Which franchise are you picking?
One that I've secretly been already working on. And it's not like they've approved it. I haven't like asked anyone, but like I started making a terrifying VR version of Burger Time, where like you're running around in like the first person and just like and these things like and like and I love Burger Time, and so I would totally do that. Or I mean I would love like a really, and I don't know what it would be, but like I just love the original Golden Axe, like the vibe in that is so cool. Or Phantasy Star, like Phantasy Star 1 is just like like but I feel like I'd be scared to touch it. It's like it's just one of those ones I just love, but I'm not scared to touch Burger Time.
You have just been accepted to the Xavier School for the Gifted, and you've been assigned, after your training with your power, you've been assigned to the X-Men G team. What is your super mutant power?
I have extremely good smelling elbows that can shoot out of my arm. So what I do is I go like this, and they go, and they can like kind of arms come out of it, and they smell like Yankee candle stores, and it just like shuts down everyone. They're just like, oh man, I was so mad before. Now I'm just relaxed.
Okay.
And then they just feel good.
Okay.
Will never stop making games.
Please never stop.
Never stop making games. The world doesn't deserve you. We don't deserve you.
Okay, Andy, final question.
Oh my God.
I don't think I've ever been this disturbed by answers to the rapid fire in my entire life.
It's their precision.
Yeah.
Their and how fast they come.
I wonder what's in Will's surroundings right now to make him go there. Like, were you just leaning on your elbow and you said elbow, and like you just got a whiff of like your fabric softener and you're like, good smelling elbows? Like, you know what? Don't let us know how the sausage is made. Andy, final question. Final question.
He's thought about this for a very long time.
Yeah, clearly.
Also a possibility. Clearly. All right. Well, last question. It's the hardest question
most difficult
asked in your entire life.
Pretty much.
Hands down.
Absolutely.
It's a choice. And the context of the choice is up to you.
Yep.
But it is a choice. And the choice is Andy or Steven.
Let's see here. I think.
I swear to God, if Meat Boy gets you this win again, I'm going to be so mad. I'm going to be so mad, Will.
He gave you the Will. Just say Meat Boy, call it me, and then you can move on with the day.
Does Andy have 3 Pokemon cards?
I mean,
3 Pokemon cards?
What if I think the two of you in a trench coat, you know, like with the meat Boy as the hat.
Keep going,
head.
Yes.
And then you can be this. And it'd be I'm trying to think like how to combine the names, like Anvin or Stevie or
Standy.
Yeah,
Standy.
Oh, Standy would be great.
That's a great name.
I think the two of us in a trench coat is an idea we should explore, Steven, at some point in our lives.
Who I don't know why I'm even asking this. I don't know why I'm asking this, but who's the bottom on this?
I was just thinking that. I think Steve is on top.
Andy is taller.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if Andy's heavier.
Yeah.
Because I'm deceptively heavy. And I have very stocky legs. So I might be a better foundation.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you could go with that.
Plus, you're working construction, so that should be.
I work.
Yeah, construction adjacent.
Yeah, I work before the construction.
There's an umbrella.
I lift nothing but a pencil. But yes, indeed.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, that is going to bring us to the end.
That was a show.
Very bizarre episode of the Dual Screens podcast. I loved it. I hope you did too. Thank you, Will, for joining us. That was fantastic. If you want to follow us on social media, we're at Dual_Screens. Andy is at Pants Guy. I'm at Batchild27. Our Facebook group is facebook.com/groups/DS podcasts. You can get in there and hang out with us in there as well. Remember, if you want to join us on Patreon, it's patreon.com/NDS podcast, and you get into our Discord at any tier whatsoever. So we do appreciate you checking us out. Will, where can everybody find you? Where can everybody find these nude old men playing volleyball? And give everybody where to find you.
On Twitter at Soda Drinker Pro. That's got all the info on if you're around this Friday, and we're doing that party on Zoom. And the game comes out on Steam. So, just type in Retired Men's Nude Beach Volleyball League in your search engine as much as you can. So you have a very long browser history. Make sure you turn off safe search, turn on image search, download all the images of any sort of things that go along with that.
Yep.
And I hope you enjoy the game. And thanks so much for having me. This has been super fun.
Definitely enjoying the game. That is for sure. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Will. And as always, please be excellent to each other.